This is called a fascinating journey.
Nature feels almost like poetry.
50 years is a long, long time. Not so much if you're snow or rime.
This is what the Cascades are known for. Lots of big snowstorms.
They're a part of our climate, a part of our weather. They're part of our snowpack that holds it together.
But in the Northwest, beauty can break loose without warning.
Poetry is an interesting approach to getting them to make better decisions. This technology has not changed one bit.
For half a century, avalanche forecasters like Dallas Glass have helped people read the signs before it's too late.
This is just a wild, unmanaged place, and that's it's really unique. It's also really special, but it comes with its own set of dangers.
When Dallas isn't out in the backcountry, he's turning signs in the snow into forecasts that help save lives. But he wouldn't have this system if it weren't for the people who built it back in the 1970s.
Pre-internet, the way that these guys were getting the forecast out was via a phone recording.
These guys are Rich Marriott and Mark Moore.
Good to see you.
Holy crud.
We were looking for places to ski powder, and hey, we're going to be out there and they're going to pay us to ski. And
May I say, we were terribly wrong.
that was
we spent a lot of time standing in snow pits is what we did.
50 years ago, they were just curious University of Washington grad students, taking the first steps into a science that had yet to be discovered.
I mean, this was back in the early to mid 70s. Yeah. It was still in its infancy.
In collaboration with Ed LaChapelle and Bud Rainier, they were given a temporary research mission to figure out how to forecast avalanches from a central location.
We were trying to do the education part and the instrumentation part, and we did the forecasting part.
Turns out the mountains paid Rich and Mark in snow pits after all. Holes 20 feet deep were a haven for field research.
Seriously, it was like a mining operation working with Mark.
From tiny instruments to wires and systems hovering above the snow. These early meteorological tools became their language. On December 6, 1975, their first backcountry forecast went out, and the Northwest Avalanche Center, known as NWAC, was born, becoming only the second program of its kind in the country.
Before we started the Avalanche Center, if you wanted to go up to the mountains and recreate outside of the controlled ski areas, you had no information at all.
For the first time, backcountry travelers had guidance, and the need for it was growing fast. In the 1970s, avalanche deaths in the western U.S. jumped from around 7 per year to more than 20.
There was a tragic accident up at Snow Lake by Alpental where a group of people, families, were snow camping, and an avalanche came down and hit the group and killed 2 little girls.
Even if you fight hard, you're not going to win. The avalanche is going to beat you up every time.
That message needed to stick, so Mark got creative.
I mean, did you know about your poetry?
I do now.
He was trying to make it more interesting for people to listen to these long oral forecasts or read them. And so he started to rhyme the forecasts.
Mark has written hundreds of poems, turning avalanche forecasts into words people remember.
His written word and the way he put that into a format that would be engaging for people, that was how he was a successful communicator.
That was his way of making sense of something that is so incredibly complex. They call it the avalanche phenomenon. Their forecasting, their field work, it truly laid the groundwork for what avalanche forecasters do today.
All the same tools that Rich and Mark used 50 years ago, we still use today.
Shovels, probes, cards, and magnifying glasses. These tools still help study the snowpack, even during an unusual winter.
One of our lower snowpack years here in the Cascades, but we get about one of these a decade.
On March 15th, NWAC recorded 69-inch snow depth in Snoqualmie Pass, compared to 115 inches in 1976. Since that first season,
what's interesting is how much has changed since this time, and yet how much is the same.
NWAC has grown from written forecasts by 2 founders to 18 team members. Through the decades, the center has weathered funding challenges and even created this nonprofit office in North Bend. 50 years later, the poetry written in the snow
Remember, survival is based on the how, when, and where,
still guides every step in the backcountry.
and getting good info from those who care.
And it's worked. Avalanche deaths across the Northwest now stay in the low single digits each season.
So once again, thanks for helping Avi Centers thrive
For Environment Northwest,
and for supporting a mission to keep winter travelers alive.
Madeline Carter, King 5 News.